Hi guys, this is Radhika here again. Hope you all are doing well. So this video is about um, types of people and how they react. And I don't want to box people in a particular box, but or label them um, as this or as that. Although I know the channel is on narcissism, so we are pretty much labeling behaviors here. Um, but from like a bird's eye perspective, if I were to talk about all this, I feel at every second in our life we have a choice to become this or that. Um, but yeah, this is more like an understanding of how people behave and probably why they behave the way that they behave in a narcissistic situation or in any situation in life. So it's more like a just a philosophical rant, but I think it applies to narcissistic situations too, uh, as well as it is reflective in many spheres in life. Okay, so basically, when we are born as babies, we are very close to divinity because we come from source, we come from the light. So if you see babies, they do not have any prejudice, they do not have any ideas, any morals of what is right or wrong. They're just like experimenting with everything. So little by little, when a baby grows up, they start seeing the world like probably like adults see it, or like all of us usually see it. So so they start seeing the shadow parts of the world as well, and hopefully the baby has seen some good parts before they see the shadow parts. But um, a lot of babies are born with some disease or something like that, or they're not born in good circumstances, not having parents who can take care of them, etc. So these babies do see the shadow parts early enough. But yeah, let's take an example of a school. So like the baby is a toddler now, and the toddler is going to school. So when they go to school, they might start seeing shadow self, because shadow parts, because they see a lot of people around them and people behave differently. They come from different backgrounds, they have different backstories. So say in a school, a child sees a bully and like two other associate bullies behind the bully, like flying monkeys, and this bully is bullying a particular boy. Okay, so I feel in this situation, say this is the situation in a school, and there are four toddlers. It's their first day to school, and they're observing this situation. Okay, so toddler number one, he sees the bully's behavior. He observes it and he sees, oh, okay, so the bully is getting his way, and the bully is troubling this particular person, and because of that other people fear him. And basically because of that, now he can do whatever he wants to. So he if he asks someone to get up from their place, that person will get up and the bully will sit. The bully might take away people's lunches or their money, so the bully is getting things, like material things. So a toddler might see this, and the toddler might actually get inspired to become like the bully. And this is the truth, a lot of toddlers, they do look at bullies and they might become bullies themselves. And so that is one type of uh, behavior that a person or a toddler might do. And I'm just giving example of a toddler because it's easier to give it that way, and probably because that's the first time in life, or even before that when we are home, that we start looking around us for behaviors, and we are kind of trying to figure out how to behave in this world because it's new to us when we are kids. um, so this person might get inspired to become a bully, And I believe it is such people who get inspired by power, by material things, by just this high that you get, that you ask someone to get up and they do get up because they are scared of you. It's a high to some people. So these people, they become narcissists, covert narcissists, etc. Basically bullies. They try to bully other people through various means. So yeah, the second toddler, he looks at this situation and he sees, okay, this bully is bullying this guy. He gets scared of the bully, and he thinks to himself, he's a little disturbed, and he thinks to himself, oh, okay, this is the world that we live in, and he's okay with that. He is okay, completely okay with that statement, that this is the world for what it is. So he is simply an observer of the world. He's looking at the world as a movie that is being played around him, and he wants simply to survive the movie. He doesn't want to become the bully, but he also doesn't want to be the target of the bully. So he is going to survive through life with the least amount of conflict. That's his goal. He puts all his energies into adjusting with the world, into adapting with the world. So, this is the kind of person that I think Charles Darwin said is the fittest, because they are the fittest to survive the world. So, and he said it's survival of the fittest. So, really speaking, these kind of people are the ones who become codependents, enablers, escapists. These are also empaths, but these are empaths who don't act. They don't act, they simply feel and they ignore. So they escape their emotion to do something, because we all have this drive to do something good for the world. No, actually, we don't all have this drive. This kind of person doesn't have this drive, they don't have it yet. Maybe it'll come to them at some point, I don't know. But yeah, they are simply observers of the world. The third kind of person sees this behavior, the third toddler sees this behavior, that the bully is bullying a particular person, and this toddler says that no, this is wrong, this is not what should happen, and I'm going to tell on the bully. So this person might tell the teacher, or they might complain to their parent, or at the most you know extreme example, they might also go and try to stop the bullying if they are that empowered. But they always have this feeling in them that this is not the way things should be, this is wrong. So they always have that kind of itch inside of them, that something is wrong here. So these are kind of the people who, if they listen to their inner voice, they become empaths who are empowered. Okay. The fourth type of person is the one who looks at this situation like a bully, and they kind of get very affected by it because they are empaths, but they also have a part in them which is of an observer. Like they feel they cannot make a change, they are kind of in between. So they are in between an empath and an escapist. So they are the in between type. So the way they react to seeing cruelty or seeing bad behavior is they try to escape it with other things, and these other things could be anything. Like now it's just a toddler, so the toddler might get busy in playing somewhere else or doing something else and escaping the situation, but this situation is going to catch up on them again. And when this becomes too intense, such kind of people, empaths who feel a lot, they try to escape, either with drugs, with alcohol, with whatever they can, with different types of addictions, or maybe even suicide, because they want to end their life. They don't want to live in this world. So, this is an empath who has kind of given up, or kind of, not realized their power yet. So, they are depressed, they are anxious, and they are in this kind of negative state of mind. Um, yeah, so I think these are the four kind of roles that we can take when we see a particular situation, and we interleave between these roles throughout our life, and I feel though that one role kind of dominates our life, and um, we might also switch between roles, and that particular role might dominate a part of our life. Um, so, yeah, we become accustomed to it, and as we learn and as we grow, we might also move from role to role. So, an empath who had given up might go into addictions and things like that, and might realize that even this is not helping me, and that empath might decide that I need to find a productive way to deal with my sorrow instead of drinking all the time, or instead of having drugs. So that empath might make a conscious decision uh, to change the world that made him so upset in his own way. Maybe the situation that put you in that depressed state is not the one that you can change, but as soon as you make that switch in yourself that I can make a change and I will make a change, you start making some changes in yourself, and you start helping the world as a collective in some way. In it could be in a very little, it could be in the smallest way, that you start remaining happy. When you go to office, you smile at everyone, you don't scowl, you don't show disinterest, you show a genuine interest. So even that is doing good for the world. Even smiling, or even being polite and nice genuinely to people who are around you, or when you go out in the market to buy something, even that's a good thing. So goodness doesn't have to be like moving mountains. It doesn't have to be like you have to give up everything and start a charity institution or something like that. I mean, you can do that, but all I'm saying is change can be very small, but it still is very significant. um, yeah, and everyone has a particular purpose to serve. So even the bully actually teaches people a lot, like what not to be. To some people it teaches them what to be, people who are craving power. And it shows us the shadow part of the world, because not all of creation is positive, some of creation is negative, because whoever created this whole thing has a clearly a very creative mind, and they could create a lot of things with it. So everyone has a purpose, but I would say that this is what happens in a narcissistic situation. If you are the scapegoat, and if you are more on the empowered side, of course all scapegoats are depressed at some point, but then they try to recover out of that depression, and they might become empowered people. So they might actually start standing up for themselves against the narcissist in whichever way. Even not talking, even going no contact or gray rock is is a way of standing up for yourself. You can't always just shout and scream and stand up for yourself. Sometimes you don't speak and you are standing up for yourself, and you save your energy, you keep your distance, just get away from negativity. So um, so when you are in that situation, and if around you there are people who are codependents, enablers, escapists, empaths, they might tell you that you are not doing the right thing by standing up for yourself. So when that happens, you actually, that's what triggered this whole video, because I have people who are telling me that not talking to the narcissist is not the right thing to do, or it is the rude thing to do, or it's being rude, or it's not being evolved. And that is from their perspective. Okay, so they feel that you have to put up with this world because you cannot change the world. And I don't have that view. I have a view that we can change the world. You have to make an effort to change it, and if by not talking to someone, So the person basically said that by not talking to someone, how are you changing the world? But they will not understand my perspective because they don't believe that they can change the world. So they will never understand this perspective. And on the other hand, they were trying to tell me that I am less evolved because I am not talking to the narcissist. So yeah, this is what happens, when you try to, even peacefully, when you try to stand up for yourself, when you try to protect, not your ego, but when you realize something that is not good for you and you try to stay away from it, they will make you feel like you are doing a wrong thing because you are staying away from something that is negative. And they will tell you that no, you have to be in presence of that negative, but you still have to be positive, which is okay, which is like Jesus, or like Mother Teresa, or some of the realized masters. But uh, I know that I am not realized. I am not an ascended master. I am not there yet. I cannot stay in negativity and stay positive. It's very difficult for me. I do get affected by negativity. So that's what actually spun off this whole idea in my mind, that how people cope with reality in different ways. And I believe if people do not stop bad behavior, it will not stop, you know. And stopping is, of course, controlling someone else. So we cannot control anyone else in life, but we can control our reaction to it. So if someone slaps me and I turn my other cheek, which is what Mahatma Gandhi taught, basically he said you have to love your enemy. So maybe he was more realized. But I feel that I do not have the strength to do that. So at least I have that much of self realization that if I do that, it might destroy me. So I'm trying to save whatever self I have. And I'm not trying to destroy the narcissist. All I'm saying is stay away, keep your distance. And even if people are trying to make you feel that you're doing the bad thing, or you're doing a you are not being good enough because you're doing this, let them say anything they want to say. You don't have to kind of give in to their thinking, which I kind of did. That is why I thought so much about it. But in a way, it's good I thought, because that's what gave the content for this video. But I did get very disturbed over it, because this person is very close to me, and this person is trying to tell me that whatever you're doing is not good enough. Whereas it was very difficult for me to come to this point where I actually do not get affected by the narcissist, and I still stand in my power when I'm around the narcissist. So that's the thing. People who say such things, they do not come from where you come from. And so I feel we should take everything with a grain of salt, which kind of triggers us or triggers some bad memories inside of us. And yeah, so basically this four kind of people, I think the third and the fourth can really understand each other, because they are empaths. One is empath who has given up, and one is empath who has been empowered. But the observers of the world, they are they are the ones who spend all of their energy in adapting to the world, because they feel that they are not empowered enough to change the world. And so they will also try to tell the empowered empaths that why are you trying to change the world. So that's what happened with me. And I don't know if it happens with other people, but I just thought that because it happened with me, I should make a video on it and just put it on, so that if it is happening with you, my message to you is that you can change the world in your own little way. And I feel everyone should feel this way. Everyone should feel empowered to change the world. Maybe we cannot change the narcissist and we cannot change their behavior, but by showing them we have our boundaries in place, Even if the observers of the world think that's rude, let them think that's rude, because they look at the bully and they feel this is the world. So why are they telling you that you have to change your behavior? Just tell them you can observe my behavior and be okay with it, because you are clearly okay with the bully's behavior. Then why are you trying to change my behavior? So it's very contradictory what the observer is trying to tell you, because they are okay with the bully's behavior, but they ask you to change your behavior because they are asking you to improve in your behavior, which they think is improvement, but you know is not improvement. It is basically empowering the bully. So they always keep empowering the wrong side by being a silent observer. So yeah, that was this video, and I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thanks. Bye.